All right, so tip number 2 from your 12 tips of Christmas. This one is simply titled Going with a Plan. And that might seem kind of silly because you're like, well, the creative process is not something you can plan. But the creative process is something that you can plan if you have some type of vision going into it. So back in July, Sarah and I were sitting on the couch with our boys and we were watching, I think, one of the Avengers movies or something like that. And my wife said, so what do you want to do for the Christmas card? And as we talked back and forth about ideas for the Christmas card, she goes, well, hey, why not do something superhero themed? We can get the boys in some costumes. We can get some costumes and kind of have fun with this. So, that sounds like a good idea because last year we did the Lego and a couple years before we did some other things that were kind of fun. So with this one, we really wanted to make it about them and allow them to be who they've always wanted to be. So we asked them, okay, if you could be any superhero, who would it be? As soon as they said it, we went on Amazon and we purchased those costumes and costumes for us. So the initial plan was to do something themed for superheroes. So we looked up Marvel movie posters on the Google. And what we came up with was this movie poster from Age of Ultron. And we were both like, this is perfect. This is it. This is awesome. We can, put you in the front and then we can have the kids surrounding us. And I don't know what it'll look like, but we'll figure it out. And we ended up coming up with something like this. So this was the initial plan. I even drew it out just like this with a Sharpie on a piece of paper that I printed out. So you can see in the front, we have my wife here in the front. She is definitely in the forefront of everything. So she definitely needs to be in the forefront of this card here. And then just have me as the supporting character that I am. And then our children, number 1, 2, and 3, in whatever order that might be. We do affectionately refer to our children as number 1, 2, and 3 sometimes because it's easier than Matthew, Michael, and William. And as a kid, I always thought to myself, why does my dad keep calling me Tim? Or my sister's name is Sarah too. Why does he call me Sarah? I'm clearly a boy. And then as I got older and had my own kids, I realized why my dad was calling me every other name but my own. And that's just because, you got so many of them, you're juggling them around. And yeah, we're all unique and we all are our own. I get it. But sometimes it's easier to call them 1, 2, and 3. So I knew that we were going to put the kids in some order like this. And I also knew that I had Kansas City backdrop that would be perfect for this because I took some shots in the city back in 2013, actually, for a composite that I did for my son dressed as Spider-Man way back in the day. So I knew I went to Kansas City to get this backdrop. And I could reuse it for our Christmas card. So if you look at what we ended up coming out with, this was our Christmas card. So look at how close these are. Now, the reason why this is important to go into this with the plan was because I knew exactly who I needed to be and where I needed them to be. I knew I wanted my wife in the front so she could pretty much be doing any pose she wanted to when it came to the photography side of things. I knew I was going to put me behind her, so I needed to have some type of slender pose that would fit in that space. And then my boys could pretty much do whatever they wanted, but I knew that their legs were going to be covered up by our bodies, so their position and where they were, their legs weren't necessarily as important as their upper body features. So we went in with a plan knowing where we were going to place everybody on that card because it made the whole shooting process a ton easier. Now, if I didn't have that plan, that initial plan, I'd have just having them doing any pose they want. And that's usually not that big of a deal. But if you've ever tried to corral 3 children on the same day, plus my wife, in this small space, get everyone to do everything that they're supposed to be doing and do it in an efficient manner so that that little one that's at the top doesn't scream bloody murder and want to get out of here, because that's pretty much what it could turn into. If he's angry, the whole house is angry. So the plan helped us from the very beginning of the process of thinking about what we're going to do for the card all the way through the shooting process, even into the post-production. A plan is important when you're doing anything, even if it's a creative thing like a Christmas card like this. You just watched a tip from a series I'm doing called the 12 Tips of Christmas. It's about this composited Christmas card that I did for our family. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, how this is going to work is over the course between the 13th and the 24th of December 2018, I'll be populating a new tip for the 12 Tips of Christmas. If you're on F64 Academy, you'll see that this page is being updated as those days progress. If at any point you want to catch up on these, you can either do it right here on F64 Academy on this page that you're watching right now, or if you're on the YouTube channel, type in F64 Academy and search for the playlist 12 Tips. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. I sincerely appreciate it. Have a Merry Christmas.